lot of you have never heard of it. What is unique to me is I'm looking at a Japanese advertisement being given by a Greek. I graduated at Harrington High School, George Mason University. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in this job. Tell us what your job is. A lot of these people don't know what your job is.
Well, full-time I do TV commercials, marketing, that type of stuff. But for years, since college, I started off at George Mason. I grew up here in Newport News. The foundation started at home with my parents. First of all, the man upstairs and my parents, they were excellent role models. Everything started good at home. But I was at George Mason and I heard something on WCBS radio at the 50,000-watt station in New York. And I heard Ed Ingles doing the sports. I said, Mom, I want to do my internship there. My mom, she was a go-getter. She said, go for it. So that's how I really got started in the business.
Tell us a little bit of a few of the jobs you had while you were in college.
Well, when I went to George Mason and I took advantage of it. I finished there in '89. When I was at WCBS in New York in '87, '88, CBS Sports was on the 25th floor. I was on the 16th floor of the radio station. I was just getting my 3 college credits, minding my own business. So I went upstairs to the 25th floor and said, you know, I'd like to work some NFL games. It was a lot easier back then. You just walk in and say hello. And that's how it was way before the internet. And that's how it got started. From there, I'll tell you a real quick story. I called NBC, spoke to a guy named Ken Goss, who's still there today. He says, Ken, I'd like to work the Michelob Golf Tournament in Kingsville. He says, sure, kid, we'll have you there for a week. And it just kind of snowballed from there.
Great. Last week, what kind of job were you involved in?
How about yesterday? I left here in Newport News at 2 in the morning. Had to be in College Park, Maryland, not knowing what the weather was. My younger sister lives there with her daughter and her husband. And she said, oh, the roads are rough. I said, well, hopefully the interstates will be clear. Johnny, you know about that from being an officer for so many years. But I got there at 6:30, it was fine. I was working, it was a tribute to Lefty Driesell. And Lefty was honored. He wasn't there in person. His son was there. Maryland played yesterday against Michigan State, and I was the stage manager for CBS.
Let me interrupt you right there. I talked to Lefty's daughter this morning. Lefty is struggling. He is not doing well at all. Lefty's either 93 or 94, I don't remember. Kenny Rollins, George Wallace, myself, go over there every 2 or 3 months to see if he lives in Virginia Beach. But the whole machine is basically wearing out. And he's being prayers, and we've had some. His memory was phenomenal. We talked, hadn't been 6 months ago, we were sitting there talking about the game. He said, yeah, we won that game in the last 3 seconds, and he gave the exact score. I had to go into the yearbook to see if he was right. He was right. His memory at that time was phenomenal. Right now, he's struggling quite a bit. So he's doing quite a bit. Sorry about that. Tell me a little bit about your connection with the Newport Public Schools and athletics.
Well, there's a lot of people involved in that. With Mr. Cummings starting, and of course, Mr. Price has taken over. It was right after my mom got an award in '89. Now, she was speaking at the Dan Ramada Hill and Shake Line Awards. And Paul Cummings was an educator for years in Newport News. Said we'd like to start sports, and like to do a TV program. I've interviewed a lot of people in this room, including Mr. McCormick. I've interviewed you, and of course, Belinda, a lot of people, of course, yourself, of course, Bud Porter, and Vicky back there as well. A lot of people. And pretty much that was it. Paul Cummings said we want to start sports in the school system. And of course, Mr. Tyson lived across the street from me when I was a kid. I was like Dennis the Menace to him. But that's how it started, really. I mean, he saw me at the Ramada Inn. I did a college TV show at George Mason. I gave a tape, and it kind of went from there. We started doing sporting events in the fall of '91.
What do you actually do with sporting events? Like football season, what do you do?
For me, I've always done one thing. I've done the play-by-play. We got a great crew working behind the scenes. And of course, I've always done that. I've also did 2 years in Northern Virginia when I was in college. I did one of Grant Hill's high school basketball games. But I've always done a mix of on the air and behind the scenes. For the networks like today, I still do it. I'm like a stage manager. But I've been a sideline reporter, I've been a stringer, I've been at UVA doing stuff for Virginia Tech. So my dad said branch out, do different things. That's kind of what I do. That's why you hear me doing the commercials. And, life's about different things, not just one thing. And I like talking to different people and learning from people. I mean, you work with my dad too. You sponsored the part of the school, like you said, for 43 years. I appreciate it.
Well, basically, he is the only way that you can get live coverage of high school athletics in Newport.
Yeah.
Hampton used to have this program also. Bob Hentz used to do it, and they no longer do that in Hampton. Good News is still doing it. We think you can do it.
Yeah. Thanks to Paul and Greg as well.
35 years you've been doing some part of this. 35 years. You've come across a lot of people that got that. You've helped already young people. You and Mr. Price have helped a lot of young people start their careers in this direction. You might the one today what would you tell them?
I would say do as much as you can, be versatile, and get good grades first, starts in the classroom, and then just try to do an internship and go from there. Also want to thank my good friend Wade Harrington back there. He's a big part of what I do today. Wade's an excellent person. And it just takes a village. Nobody can do it by themselves. No teacher, and including Mr. Pierce. I used to interview him all the time too when he was at Benchville. I always tell him York's not the same, you're joking around, but it's the coaches. Belinda knows, I used to go talk to Coach Walters and Coach Baco. And I'll say this, what really got me interested in high school sports was Coach Kaz at Bethel, who's doing, who won the state championship his first year. And Coach Madden's last game at York, I still mention this on the air today. I was a 14-year-old kid. Here he was who coached at Huntington, and he coached at Ward for 10 years. And Coach Bullock, who was his assistant when your son was at Benchville, said, "Hey kid, why don't you come with us to the game?" I said, "All right, let me see if I can." I was 14. We took a Pentram bus to Churchland on the James River Bridge. And little did I know, that was Coach Madden's last game he would ever coach. And I was like, wow, And seeing Coach Kaz and Coach Smith, you kind of learn from osmosis. And I really, it's always somebody there. And Mark Hedgepath, who's sitting right there, was my tennis coach at Ferguson, and still keep in touch with today. It's always about people and relationships. That's what I would recommend to any kid.
35 years of your life is dedicated to this profession. We thank you for that.
Thank you.
We appreciate you done. He was a member of our board, he was just on board for 4 or 5 years. We appreciate it. Glad you're back with us.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Congratulations to the other recipients today.
I have a question, Greg.
Yeah.
Before you sit down.
Sure.
Why don't you tell the folks about the program you started out at Langley?
Oh yeah. Chuck Hall, who lives right here on the side, started, and it was kind of both of our ideas, the Hampton Road Sports Media Hall of Fame. And that's to honor media professionals on the air, public relations people. And we started in 2018 and 2019. It got interrupted by COVID, like a lot of things did, so we did it virtually. But it's to honor different on-air people and public relations people, for their media awards, basically, for their time, their talent, and treasure. And we're, very happy. We've got women on there and different people, just an eclectic group of people. And of course, Chuck Hall, who does a great job tirelessly at Langley Speedway, promoted it and financed it. So really, a lot of the credit goes to Chuck. It was my idea and his kind of 50-50. But like I've been saying all night, nobody in this world can do anything by themselves. We need each other. I appreciate everybody being here tonight.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Thompson, please come forward.